Ladies and gentlemen, we're back once again for the MLW Files, where we review MLW Fusion, just in case you didn't watch, or if you wanted to watch along simultaneously. I would suggest watching that on 2X, and we can catch up at the same time today. Jeff, we have a 49-minute show to review. How fast can we do this review in?
I don't know, but so I'm gonna keep it short. This was a far better television episode.
This might have been the best 60 minutes of television of wrestling all week. I'll say that, especially all season for MLW for sure. This is the easiest episode to watch if we're looking to start off on a good thing.
I agree. Much better episode, and if there are nits to pick, I will pick them. But keep in mind that it's mostly nitpicking.
Very much going to nitpick, and we're going to do I'm going to unveil a new segment this week that I'm making up on the fly here. It's Mr. Thomas's fashion review, and we do have a fashion icon of the week officially this week.
This is exciting. Hope it's not clavicular.
Let's jump into it, but I'm a step or two behind, so I don't have my notes pulled up. Jeff, what day did you watch this? Tell the people. I per usual watched it this morning, so it's fresh in my mind.
I actually watched it Saturday, but not live. So I watched it probably like 7 or 8 o'clock. But I did watch it Saturday. I noticed that on the screen it said MLW Times or and CMLL, though they never mentioned that on commentary, which is fine. Okay. And this show also continues to hail from Atlanta, which I guess was like March, April-ish.
Yes. Let's before we dive into this episode, let's do a follow-up to last week's episode, because we're bridging the gap both in episodic television review form and in the real world where we connect the dots. Debuting last Friday on WWE SmackDown was none other than the Bishop himself, Baron Corbin. So in relation to why they did those episodes, when they did those episodes, I'm happy to see that there was a payoff. No one on the internet will recognize this. But shout out and maybe a little kudos to not only the MLW locker room and production and staff and writing crew, but the editing team as well, to piece together not only a fly-by-night story that's happening in real time, but to involve it in your episodic television that was taped 4 months ago that you rolled out live. I think in hindsight was better than any way else it could have done, or if he had debuted last Friday and then we did all this bullshit after the fact.
Okay, I noted this also. I'm just not sure if this was planned or they got lucky. So I'm going to reserve judgment on this to see if in future weeks they still talk about the short-term replacement.
We're never talking about Baron Corbin ever again. I don't think. Well, I mean, not on this episode, not in our world of MLW, but like we're past that. I don't think there will be any other crossover. I'm sold. I think
the bishop has now been moved back to royalty. He's no longer a functionary of the church. He's now a royal and back as a baron.
We need to give credit where credit's due, and I think MLW and Court Bauer made chicken salad out of a big batch of chicken shit, which sometimes is unavoidable. It's just the business, bruv.
Sure, no. Listen, again, if this was planned, all kudos to them. I'm just not sure that they didn't get lucky. But listen, whatever it is, it worked out so far.
Tom Brady lucky, or did he have it all planned out?
No, Tom Brady's fantastic. I don't like the guy, but I mean, he was never on my team.
You can't get lucky every time. We'll see if it happens again. We'll chalk it up. We'll put this one in the we'll wait and see bin.
Right, especially when you go to Tampa Bay and do it.
We'll talk about this. We'll go over this on the year in review show when this season goes off the air.
Ooh, the year in review. Wow. Okay. Very good.
Hey, you kids out in the biz, that's giving yourself a contract extension without negotiating a contract extension, brother. We've got one more payday.
Listen, I love it that you're booking me now. So this is fantastic. What a reversal of roles.
Listen, brother,
you may
be the most litigious, but I'm in this business to make money, not friends. With that being said, let's get into this live from center stage. As you mentioned, we're back at it.
Since you're my best friend,
somebody's got to do it. We're back at it. We got a lucha extravaganza to open the show here. Mangus versus Titan, which I have a note that I was going to save for later, but apparently it's pronounced Titan.
It's not Mangus. It's Magnus.
Magnus. I'm from the Northeast. I say it the way I read it.
Right. And Titan.
Titan. Titan.
Yeah. First of all, Don Gatto came flanked by the Gatats, and they mentioned
what their names are this week.
No, I named them the Gatats. They continue to have no names.
For those of you who were a teenager in the 90s, not you, Jeff, but you these women kind of remind me of Nina Sky, the hip hop Latino girls from the Bronx. Because they're little twin magic, and they had lucha mask on. These girls are smoking hot, man. Make them tag team champions tomorrow.
Do you feel the beat?
I do feel the beat within my heart.
Are they wrestlers?
No, they were just like two girls from the Bronx that did like rap music with like big.
No. I mean Don Gatto's flanked girls.
I don't know. I can't see their faces.
Okay, I
don't know that. I don't know their business.
I figured you had inside information.
I kind of want to know who Don Gatto is, personally.
You don't know who Don Gatto is?
I don't know who this Don Gatto is.
You know who this Don Gatto is? It's the same Don Gatto that was there with you in January and was there. The original Don Gatto has been gone a long time.
But I honest to God, God's is my witness. I'm not familiar with the current version of Don Gatto. Right, I say this because he has this look. I'm convinced he's either really a luchador or like he's at least from the wrestling world, because he seems to be getting like brothers on that shit. He's jacked. He's getting less fat, more up here. I don't know. He seems stealthy this week.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure because last week is the same as this week.
I will say this body type gives old timey lucha granddad.
No, it definitely says old man strength. Yeah. Remember that GIF a few years ago when the people were in the gym and like this old security guard walked in there and he starts doing 225 and everyone's worried about him. And yeah, his form is terrible, but he does like seven reps and then gets up and he's still in his uniform and just walks away. And they're all like, what the fuck?
My other note on this match was that this is a very expensive opening match. Considering how far both of these men came to work television in Atlanta. But I didn't delete it because my very next comment was this was a long opener and they went 16 minutes. That includes entrances. So 16 minutes, good wrestling. Jeff, talk me through the wrestling here.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Listen, I like Magnus. I like Magnus and Ruhido. I like them as tag team champions. I like them as part of Volador's crew. I like the whole thing. I like the whole act. I like when they cheered. Titan, good wrestler. On his back, it said Yahweh Immortal or Yahweh on his back. So I'm wondering, like, is he an Israelite? I mean, we have a Roman emperor versus an Israelite here. What's going on here? And his finisher which was like the Muda lock, is called the Yahweh Immortal. And I'm like, fantastic. I mean, by all the Canaanites, I mean, Baal should have been the referee here. Magnus at some point goes after the mask, which of course would be a DQ in CMLL, but it's perfectly legal here.
Not in America, brother. We cheer that shit in Atlanta.
Exactly. Tom Lawler made the same joke about the mask. We don't want to. He said, I don't want to see that face. There's women and children here. Is it funny? Yes, it's funny.
Yes, but shout out to Joe's comeback this week.
What was Joe's
the way it was set up, I think, was clever because I think Joe said it first. Joe's like, "Oh, he's undoing his mask. I don't want to see his face. I don't want to." He says, "I don't want to see his face because that's disrespectful."
Right.
And then the only reason Tom brought it up was because Joe brought it up, and like a good partner would, he fucking teed him up, and Tom Lawler was right there to be like, "I don't want to see his ugly face either."
Yeah.
Love to see. The other thing Tom Lawler mentioned on commentary, which I was unaware of, and we're going to take a big pivot in this, was Magnus was had a reality TV show in Mexico called El Luchador, which I looked into, was on A&E, which was a groundbreaking reality TV show following the double lives of CMLL wrestlers, which I found to be intriguing, which apparently made him a super babyface in Mexico, but in this match, not so much.
No, not in this match. Titan was definitely the match. So, yeah, so the Yahweh Immortal was skied well by Magnus, who, by the time it was applied, he was already at the ropes for the rope break. And they mentioned, is CONTRA worried about any new challenges to the middleweight belt? We know that Kushida is watching this match closely. So
the
that was
phrase
good.
actually used was CONTRA has ownership to the middleweight title, which I found to be very specific wording. I'm not sure what that means going forward. Are we doing a swappy swap? It seemed like there was also some wording into that with the Skyscrapers last week when it came to be more of a freebird rule for them. It also implying there may be other members. And I wonder if that same logic might be thrown into the middleweight title here with both Kwan and Kushida being in contention.
Well, they also have there's another Bishop out there who's a skyscraper. So, you could actually...
the real Tom Bishop might just come back, brother.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So anyway, listen, this is very personal to me because the Romans have always beaten the Israelis until now. It's the age of Messiah, people. It's the age of prophecy. The Messiah is coming back. The temple's going to be rebuilt in Jerusalem. Teton, Yahweh over Magnus.
Clean.
Absolutely. And you know what? He drinks with Don Gatto right through his mask.
Who wouldn't? That seemed to be the theme of the show, that Don Gatto's kind of scouting luchadors. And a luchador, much like myself, always looking for a better payday.
Right. But
so for anyone out there
wearing masks, you're too pretty.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. So they also let us know that Blood and Thunder, which is not Thor Love and Thunder, is in 4 weeks, and then Fightland is in 9 weeks. Can you remind us what Blood and Thunder and Fightland are?
They're just themes to a show, so we don't have to say it's Fusion every week. I like it. Branding, brother.
Oh, awesome.
Special events. Maybe it's a special live event, which will lead to maybe a YouTube or a series of title matches, storyline payoffs. I'm excited to see what we get. Damn, I feel like a company man today.
Yeah, no, you should be. I think
I'm going to send the new Skyscraper. Thomas Bishop should debut when the next one of these guys gets hurt or blows a tricep.
I know a Thomas that's tall.
Don't make me bust out my old lifts. I'm taller. If I bust out my old boots, I'm like 2.5 feet tall, brother.
2.5 feet taller. Okay, well that's good. That's extremely tall. That's like 9 feet tall. That would really do it. I hope you're not like that building in Manhattan which buckles on the 23rd floor with all that. Listen, another thing I want to give kudos for is the commentary acknowledged that the Good Brothers were now in a two-front war. This has been a peeve of mine, but they acknowledge that, yes, they're part of the Contra Mercs and they're dealing with Contra unit, but they are also still involved with the tag team title situation, and that the Skyscrapers aren't necessarily done with them, which
they've
was
done a good job at explaining this the last 2 weeks and tying a couple of these stories together, and it happens later on. So a little foreshadowing.
Exactly right. And we heard a couple times from the new Skyscrapers who, they're really tired of proving that they're better than the Good Brothers. Later on, they speak again and have some more to add to their list of, I don't know, accomplishments / grievances.
I'll give you my Dijak notes when that comes back up later on. But getting into Shotzi defending the title against Kira, is that how we're pronouncing this?
Kira. There were a couple things though, because the Contra Mercs did a vignette.
Oh, it was the same one from last week.
It was very NWO or LAX.
They edited last week. I'm just saying it was just nothing new.
Well, the Lady Frost vignette took us a little bit further into seeing that there was a woman there and she breathed cold air.
I'm skipping through commercials, dog. To me, I feel like I'm getting a commercial when I get these. One story.
When you're introducing new talent, it's a vignette. That's not a commercial. And I want her to have a guy that's dressed like from the Night's Watch, and so she can always say, "You know nothing, Jon Snow."
I hope she gets paired up at some point with someone.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like when you're paired up as a lady in MLW, kind of lasts a little longer.
I agree. All right, now you're right. The MLW Women's World Championship is defended. Kira versus Shotzi, and you know who was the ref? David Sanderson.
For sure. And before we get into this, we're going to get into Kira's outfit here. Her gear, which kind of led to the Mr. Thomas fashion segment of the week. And I love to leave this picture on production. Leave this up. We're going to talk about Kira's ring gear today. And I'm going to do this in the most professional, respectful, way possible. I didn't say it. That's sound effects. She was completely covered with the one part of her body, and it was the upper portions of her tatas, which were hanging out of what I'd like to describe as a top that only 90s Madonna would have.
Yeah, this was like a corset bustier thing.
Again, I don't normally, well, we do normally mention gear, and I am very big on colors not matching and things of that nature. I'm not here to disrespect any woman, but my attention was drawn to the only piece of skin that was hanging out of her body were those two. That's it.
Yes, it was a very structurally sound bodice.
And she had no pants on.
Well, she's a wrestler. She doesn't need to have any pants on. She did have trunks and boots.
With that being said, this match was not as long as the first one, but this went long. We got some time on this. I didn't keep track of the time on this one, but we told some stories in this one.
Yeah. So Kira, when she first came in, listen, I'd never seen her before except in the promotions for this show.
I've seen her live. She's excellent.
She's little, and I didn't know that she was this little. There were a couple of rough spots where she missed a couple things, but overall, I think she wrestles really well with her size, and she uses her size. I don't want this is an inexact comparison. This is not an apple to apple, but the way Darby Allin makes you forget that he's small because he uses his body as a cannonball, she did sort of the same thing. Not as impactful as Darby, not as crazy as Darby, not as good as Darby, but it was pretty darn good. I mean, I could believe that even though she's tiny, she knows she's tiny, and she uses every part of energy and and momentum and whatever leverage to try to get the win, and that she was fighting for it. And that she wasn't, and that she knew Shotzi was probably better than her, more experienced, but her game plan was not to let Shotzi get any chance to gather herself to set her offense.
Stay on her.
Yeah,
I liked
it. And the boobs, yes. There was one sunset flip from the outside, from the apron down to the floor, where I was a little bit worried about the landing, but
you don't say. For anybody, I don't recall that spot specifically, but you saying it, this sounds like for anyone to take that is dangerous.
Yeah, but Shotzi bounced back up, and apparently is fine.
That's
so
rough, buddy.
It looked rough, but listen, no one got hurt, which means it was applied perfectly. So it almost helped when there was such a size differential that it was a little sloppy. It made it look realer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was a handstand somersault that didn't go as planned, but they probably kind of both caught it in the moment and carried on, which is more than some people can do. So a good match. I thought it was very good. Shotzi, not known as a big gal, and like height wise, but it kind of stands out. I think she's a medium sized gal.
Yeah.
When it comes to height. But she kind of gave tall gal vibes because of how short Kira was. I found it very shocking.
Yeah, Kira's like Sarai height, but certainly not body wise. Yeah. So we've fixated plenty on that. But Kira, would like to see more of you.
And listen, Kira, you can't have both your features being the prominent feature. All right, pick something. You can't be up top and down bottom. But I guess everyone's got down bottom. So do what you got to do. She covers her face, so she has to, everything goes, I guess. Love Mexican women, respect women wrestlers. I mean this in the least derogatory way possible. Two babes, swanton for the win, as it should.
Yeah.
My notes. That was my only notes for this match.
None needed.
A good match, and the crowd was behind it. And I had heard through the grapevine a little bit. I'm not sure if we'll see this later on. I didn't notice it this week, but because production might have been out of covered up. But I heard that some of the crowd might have had left. There was maybe like a younger crowd in Atlanta, and like 10 o'clock on the dot, like the families were leaving almost. I had heard that from a few people, but again, production didn't show any signs of people leaving. I don't know if it was shot tight or if we haven't gotten to that point in continuity yet, but that was a fan report that I had heard and read because I do my research.
Wow. Yeah, and you're an insider. Don't forget that part of it.
Dad damn it, Insider meant I did my research and I was reading tweets on the internet.
That's not what Insider means.
I'm a reporter. I'm the Pablo Torre of professional wrestling here.
So you're transitioning into a wrestling journalist now.
I'm an investigator. I'm an investigative journalist if necessary. I get to the
independent research
of carnival wrestling.
That's right. I know a lot of independent researchers. That's perfectly good. So yeah, this was good. Shotzi also took a swig of Don Gatto of Don Gatto tequila with Don Gatto himself, and every good times ensued.
It gives Don Gatto more of a authoritative figure to sit ringside. I like that he's kind of just like cheering and hyping people up, but like I love this idea of the boss is coming to the office today to like see what the fuck this money is being wasted on. And he kind of gives me that vibes because he sits there and he reacts a little bit, but like not enough to give a fuck. And it's just like, it's the most realistic thing on the show. It's just Don Gatto being the eye in the sky, being like, I can't wait to fire this motherfucker the first time he fucks up. Like,
right. Well, being in 2020,
he could be angry. I don't know what he's watching over there.
Like he's the sponsor. And so the sponsor is there with VIP treatment, doing whatever he wants and all of that. Because we I'm a little worried. Where's Cesaro? They haven't mentioned him. We haven't seen Selena. We haven't heard about her. Court's flying around doing deals and whatnot. Teddy Long was still in Atlanta, but we didn't see him this week.
He's got booking authority, player.
Yeah. It's all good.
We're getting very off track here. Swanton for the win. Love Shotzi as champion. She has no challenger, but I do like them bringing in some of the CMLL girls to give her a little, variety outside of Japan, and whoever's coming. And obviously, we're building blood and guts or blood and gory thunder in paradise, whatever the shows are. I hope we get our lady challenger, but I would build everything up first. Zamina versus Shotzi is obviously where we're going at some point.
Right, and next week, Shotzi's segment, the Graveyard Shift, comes back, and her guest is her frequent collaborator, but also undefeated in MLW, Scarlett Bordeaux.
I would love for this to be Zamina's Jake the Snake Pit.
Zamaya? You want her to come in and
I'm getting old. I'm getting old. For some reason, I can't say Devil Wears Prada. I pronounced it 3 times out loud yesterday as Devils Wear Prada. So I don't know if it's like the old white man inside of me is just like bursting through this fucking skin, or if the CTE's kicking in. I don't know what it is.
Oh my God, I heard that happens at age 40.
names are not one of my strong suits.
Some people accidentally become white. It's the worst.
They ended this by saying standing ovation for Don Gatto, who's sitting his fat ass in the chair. Eventually he stood up and the girls celebrated. It was just a funny moment to say Don Gatto on his feet, and he immediately was not. I will point that out. But that transitioned us right into LeBron versus Nakamura, which again, I kind of like this storytelling and I like this story. And I would understand why logically Nakamura would be LeBron's next opponent because coming off the connection with Kojima, right? Does it make sense?
Yeah, but I have 2 issues with this. Okay. One is that last week when they advertised the match, they showed us Contra Asia, which was Okamura, Kwan, and Kushida going against the Contra Mercs. And so they sort of switched this match.
There, brother.
I get it, but you advertise one match and switch it. Now it doesn't. I think it was an improved situation.
No. No one ever said which specific Contra. Contra unit is like all. We just talked about Free Road Rule twice today. You think this has any difference? As someone who may or may not have been a part of Contra, I was an unofficial member, and for the record, I came out in a 40-man battle royal with another grown-ass man at number 31 and 32 simultaneously, which goes against all rules and logic. Contra makes their own rules, brother.
Okay, fair enough. So, you've squared that circle. The other thing I don't like about it is that you make a big deal about turning a face into a heel, joining a faction, and then he loses. That I don't like.
Somebody's got to lose, brother. And it's no offense to Nakamura, but it should be the old guy. He's the old guy. He should lose. He's not.
They got no shortage of old guys. They have CMLL. They have the whole half the roster is 55 and older.
As someone who once served as the fall guy for a fucking elite faction in the same company that we're reviewing today. Let me say, every good faction needs a fall guy. Someone has to lose.
I'm just saying it shouldn't be his first match after they make a big deal out of it.
He had a job match 2 weeks ago and he won.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So the Monster Man, who now has a name, is Kananga, who apparently is the Butcher of the Caribbean, or the Caribbean Butcher. I know who he is. There's not too many people who look like that. And I think he goes by Jamu for Hun.
Yeah, for sure. Let me tell you something about this guy. I think he might have slimmed down to what he looked like in this match. But I think we're kind of jumping apart here. We're still at Nakamura, but go ahead.
That's it. Nakamura.
This match was good. This match was good. It was short. It was good. I liked it. Some back and forth Hoss spots. Same old shit. It was good when it wasn't great at first, and then it kind of broke down. Then it ended immediately, which is my favorite, which is how they all should go. So, but I mean, you can only do so much. Nakamura.
You're more excited about this match than I am.
Oh man, I thought it was good.
The camera angles might have hurt things here because I could see Nakamura like missing by quite a bunch, and also the lariat as the finisher. It's not as explosive. Like he's got to get more of the JBL clothesline from hell, and that lariat was sort of weak to be a finisher.
Listen, I didn't really like LeBron last week. It could have been a little salt in the wounds of maybe someone who wanted to be someone who wishes he was in this storyline. So once I got that fog out of my eyes and that haze went away, I kind of liked him this week. I felt like he looked good. I hope, or it seemed in the continuity of how this was filmed, that maybe the squash match that he had last week went on first, and the crowd seemed a little more receptive to him this time around. They knew who he was, and they seemed kind of behind him, and he just looked like he was presented better. Especially against Nakamura, he looked more big and jacked this week. Maybe on a show that had two women and two luchadors prior to him, like he was the big dude until the main event. But I like
maybe you got that Hammerstone oil.
You don't got to always go heavy on the baby oil, brother, especially when you're jacked like that. You don't need to rub it in until you have to. But I think he's good. It's a good start. Let's see where he goes from here. He's the new Diego. They let me down on Diego, but he's the new Diego. And I really don't like the let's raise this black guy within the storyline just to feed him the Austin Aries. But we'll see how it ends.
Last nitpick. You just recruit a guy to Contra, and he comes out alone.
I mean, the squad's focused on other things. We're building the main event. They had to focus on game plan, bro.
Company man. Let's talk
about logic here, because I'm just explaining it the way I would explain it to my mother, where she said, "Why didn't you come out 2 matches ago?"
David, 2 matches in a row.
It's like, Ma, you wanted me to have a good match 2 matches from now, or you wanted me to fucking, come out and watch Nakamura get beat? Like, you got to call spots, brother. I mean, you got to practice and warm up because, lose.
Call spots, brother. Brother. Okay, I got it. I understand. You're convincing me. You're giving me that inside scoop. I understand now.
Is there anything else you want to talk about on this? What seemed to be a extra longer squash match?
No.
Perfect. Was there anything before the Skyscrapers promo, or can I just mention the one line that Dijak had, since we already mentioned this before? They came out and screamed and hollered. What's the commentator's name? New guy?
Rich Bocchini.
Line of the night here. Dijak, for some reason, Rich wasn't putting the mic up to his face. Literally yanks the mic up and has to tell people that he is indeed tall, which is why the microphone needs to be held up to his mouth. That was great. I've had enough of the Skyscrapers on this episode, and guess what? It's not the last time. Spoiler alert.
Right, so they're not the new Skyscrapers. They're the only Skyscrapers.
I like that. That was a good line, and I love a good follow up from the week before. So, Contra main event. We're making great time here, Jeff. Let's not log this any longer than it needs to be. Main event time. Contra versus Contra Mercs. I don't know what a Merc is. Mercenary? Is that short for mercenary? I'm sure production.
I do want to say that Dijak, his line was, "Our next move is whatever we damn well want," or something. Anything we damn want. Something.
Yeah, it was some New England gibberish.
It was like a Sid Vicious kind of thing. Anyway, yeah. Contra Mercs, yeah. I assume Mercs is for mercenary.
Yeah, they're not letting Bishop talk, but it's probably for a reason.
He yelled something, and I didn't feel like I needed more from him.
And I feel like in this promo, I thought I had a leather vest in my closet. Maybe he'll talk me out of it next week. Moving on. I don't even need to rewatch this match or look at my notes to tell you, ding, 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 fuckery. We're right to the outside on some bullshit.
So you're not even interested in the Gallus Boys on top vignette. You know what? I don't blame you because it stunk. These guys need someone to make a video for them that's more interesting than Gallus Boys on top and saying, I like to fight. I'm the outsider. I fight just because I like to fight. Shut up. Do something different.
These three dudes are probably living in the same house. Sharon, who knows what. We can't get a camera.
I like to be booked as a unit. I really do. That's hard to do on the indies. I respect their loyalty. I know the two of them are brothers, but Jesus Christ, man, that this vignette for people who have been in the business, I assume they've been in the business 47 years. This vignette was just sorry. It was just like the least thought.
You can't say do too much, but like, why can't we have some footage of them working out together, training together in a ring somewhere outside the whatever?
Getting into a bar fight, beating people up, beating a bunch of bikers up.
Sure, any of that. But again, I didn't really. This was easy enough. We could have not mentioned this, and I think we're wasting too much time on it. But my other concern is we're getting kind of faction heavy. But I do know with our next main event coming up that it seems like the end of one, which may seem like the end of both of these units, if we're being honest.
Okay. Do tell.
Well, it just seemed like this is how to come to a boil. This was not the conclusion because, like I said, this match started with fuckery. So we went straight to the outside. Weapons, weapons, weapons. Fight, fight, fight. Everybody get your shit in. Somebody dive off of this. Somebody dive back to the outside. Do some weaponry bullshit on the outside. I think it all led back to the big fat guy. What's his name again? The big fat Kananga, who
looks like the Caribbean.
Grand opening, grand closing. If we never see this guy ever again, it'll be too soon. But it all led up to him pulling out a spike. And where do we go from there? And I could be paraphrasing a lot, but like it was a lot of fuckery. We got to the spike that was never used, thank God. Right, and then that machine gun did some cool shit. Like these guys tried. I'm talking house show dive. They were working. Quan's off the apron. Fucking Mads is catching everyone, throwing shit. I'm sure someone was bleeding. That big fat fuck was doing something, taking up a lot of space. I can't get behind people his size. I'm sure he's a good kid. He is a good kid. He's very nice. I'm sure he is in real life. But brother, I wouldn't work with this guy, and I wouldn't trust this man to protect me or to protect anyone else. Which he wasn't given much for a reason, but this is just way too sloppy for me.
I have seen him once under his other name, which is why I know who he is, and I have to agree with you. He's a very independent worker, and which he needs a lot of work. He needs, and I'm not sure that he can control his weight, and he's not strong enough for his weight either. In any event,
it kind of looked like, I will say this. Let's say, let's not leave on a shitty note, but it kind of looked like he had slimmed down in some of the more pictures that I've seen recently. And I'm obviously trying to prolong this conversation as long as possible just because I didn't want to be such a piece of shit. But I will say whatever he does wrestle as, he's also doing a show with Odyssey Jones, now known as the Big O, in Wallington, New Jersey, where the Big O goes against Cha-Cha Charlie, one of my other favorite wrestlers, on a show somewhere. Shadow Wrestling Alliance. Check them out. Saturday, July 18th in Wallington, New Jersey, Night of Columbus, 7:30. So as much as I'll shit on you, I'll promote your show in the same second. So there you have it. Go check out
man, Thomas.
Big Contra guy.
Everyone knows that about you. I mean, a couple things. They mentioned the serpent, but we still don't see the serpent. Shotzi came out with the Contra mark. She didn't impact the match in any way, shape, or form. She wasn't involved. She didn't get hurt. No woman came out to sort of even up the odds and even up the genders.
What is she going to do? What is she going to do?
I don't know. Pull somebody's hair, hold somebody's tights,
light something on fire. But I will say this might be a little preview. And if you're going to save your Shotzi involvement, let's save it for a time where we have a finish, which we did not get today. Because what did we get, Jeff? What do we always get?
We got a DQ and a no DQ match.
Fucking dusty bullshit, man. They Was it Frank? Frank fucking called the bell on something on the mist. I've seen the mist. I've been misted in matches, and no one has ever blown the whistle. No one's ever rang the bell. And all of a sudden today, well, I guess a mist to the face is a blatant disqualification. But even in, for some reason, a disqualification match.
But it's a no DQ match. This is. I don't know where this came from. This is
man, that's the money shot.
No, it's fine. Listen, I'm glad that Quan got the mist in. Apparently, Cruel has been working on his immunity, or he got an improved mask, which is much better than Kananga's mask, which is Cruel's old mask. I get, which is. I mean, they should tell that story more. That's Cruel's mask, and the spike that Cruel won so many matches with for taking missions for Contra Unit. They did mention that Quan and Cruel have completed more Contra missions than any other members of Contra Unit together.
We were there back in 2021, brother.
Damn right. No, they're very effective together. I mean, and it hasn't been such a great decision for Cruel ever since he left. I mean, I gotta say, okay. This is a shout down to MLW social media, whoever runs it. But they posted a part where they said, Cruel gets some help from a fan in attacking Kushida, and it's a scene where a kid throws out like a crumpled up piece of paper or something. I'm sorry, at Akira Kwan, and they tag Akira Kwan. It was Kushida. So the MLW guy didn't know the difference between Kwan and Kushida, or made a mistake, whatever it was. But come on, man, you got to know the difference between Kushida and Kwan.
Listen, I'll tell you this. I deleted it, but on Father's Day, I posted a classic photo of my father with Faye, and I tagged Maya, but it was not Maya. It was, I don't remember who it was. Now I'm really fucking up, but Faye had to tell me that it wasn't Maya World.
Well, who's Maya?
Maya World.
Oh, Maya World. Okay, well, I don't know.
It wasn't Maya World, though. It was another very attractive black girl who I can't think of right now.
And it wasn't even a picture of your father and Faye. It was a picture of me and Faye.
That is not in my phone, brother. That is not in my phone. But again, a very watchable show. A lot of wrestling, a lot of action. It should be in your phone business a picture of you, me, two lovely ladies, Faye, and my son. That's in my phone?
I hope so.
Somebody's got that photo.
I mean, it's got to be a cherished memory of yours, I'm sure.
Who's to know? But no,
it's a cherished memory of mine.
Speaking of, one of those two ladies just texted me at this very exact moment.
That's fantastic. I can guess which one it was. So as this match is breaking down, and after the DQ, the skyscrapers, not the new ones, the only skyscrapers, came and they started beating up on the Good Brothers, which was, they're healed, so it's interesting. And so now it's, 3 Contra Unit people against one Contra Merc, but we never really saw any consequence of that. And that wasn't the story. It was just
last week I mentioned Battle Riot, and this week I'm more certain that we're leaning towards a Battle Riot, because we can now put 2 skyscrapers and someone like Josh who can bump and bleed, brother, in a match where someone needs to bump and bleed.
You mean War Chambers, right?
War Chamber. What did I say?
Battle Riot.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, that's
War Chambers. That's a Floridian.
Chair shots. I get it.
Gimmick weapons match with a bunch of dudes. I'm sorry.
I'm surprised you forgot War Chambers. That was your glory.
Hey, I main evented my last singles match. Main event, world title.
Got the win clean over the leader of the bad guys too. So yeah, I like the format of this, and I wonder if this is the format that we're going to be seeing. Open with a lucha match, go to a women's match.
Stories in between?
Yeah. Regular, vignettes in between and some promos, whatnot. A regular match, whatever that regular match is, build up someone new or like a lower card thing, and then you have your main event.
I'm very okay with the way this went. Long opener, good wrestling, which every match should be good wrestling at the beginning, or get your biggest storyline out there first quickly, preferably not an in-ring segment, because I think that's a killer for everyone watching or in person. And then have your first match, and then put your women's match and whatever mid-card tag match or middleweight goes in between, and whatever you're building up for your main event. That's all we have time for. And I like that they're utilizing the 3-match segment to build for next week. bridge some stories from last week, while also connecting some storylines, because we only have 49 to 51 minutes of television to tell stories. So let's get the fuck out of here, which this is so much better than talking about a 2-hour show where we got 2 hours of nothing. I can take 55 minutes of nothing. I can't take back-to-back nothing.
All right, a couple other nitpicks for me is that they made a big deal of the Southern Crown title. They should have at least mentioned it this week, that there's a new Southern Crown championship 1 week later. And normally when there's a new title, you have a celebration. It doesn't need to be the next week, but they should be promoting a celebration of that this coming week. And I didn't hear anything about that, and I doubt that they're doing it because
well, the one thing I did notice is they kind of start to announce some television things that are a day or two after television is over. So tonight, while wrestling's on, I think we'll probably get an announcement. While Raw's on, that's usually when it comes out. I think last week we had already had the announcement for this week because we were taped because a certain high-end corporate entity decided to run shows at 6 o'clock via European television. So we were delayed, therefore news was delayed and out early. So that's why they promoted this week's show last week. And I think we'll get that tonight.
Listen, I also want to thank all the people who watched the show despite us not being in our regular time slot, this show, and and being on and being on the backup. We're on the Sports Jedi Media Network YouTube channel. It's the Sports Jedi Network, which is the primary. Is still was hacked, and we're still trying to recover it. The owners are still trying to recover it, but we still had almost the same number of people who viewed it and found us on the Sports Jedi Media Network. So thank you, like it, subscribe, just in case, and tell all your friends, share it and subscribe to it. And yeah, Dr. Pepper is obviously our sponsor, clearly. And yeah, I'm really impressed. This show not only has the legs, but people were looking to find us.
It's you. It's not me, Jeff.
I don't think so. I think it's all you, man.
Listen, we're perfect timing on this episode. I love bullshitting and talking about wrestling. I don't think there's another word that I can say about this show. I'm excited to see what comes of this. I feel like we have some stuff coming up. I'm curious where MLW goes from here. I think it's a little too early for a wait and see, but it doesn't seem like the title's going to change hands anytime soon. So I'm curious to see what the undercard looks like now that we have a little bit of a reshuffling and some signage and some people coming and going. It just seems very faction heavy for a 60-minute television show. There can only be so many factions. And again, I think the War Chamber.
I would agree with
the end of CONTRA. The CONTRA as its whole, the whole CONTRA explodes, and then everyone can go in their separate directions.
You think so?
I mean, that's it. Well, when the baby faces beat the bad guys, well, not go away like everyone's fired. Like we know Cruel's not coming back officially or unofficially, depending on what you believe on the internet. Shotzi can always go in her own direction. The Good Brothers can always go back to their storyline. Dijak and the Skyscrapers have their own thing. Quan and them are kind of fucking around for the belt. So, I mean, CONTRA can still continue, but it seems like it's going to be in the middleweight faction at best after this feud.
Well, they've been teasing us the Serpent for a long time now to only lead to CONTRA's demise in the short term. So I'm gonna have to vote against you on this one, big fella.
Hail, CONTRA.
Listen, whoever's still in charge, they better send me an invoice to show face and your logo on my streaming network, brother.
All right. Well,
and shit ain't sweet.
Wow. Where can people find and follow you and support you if you're going to be an executive producer of a movie or something?
Never. I'll never produce television unless it's wrestling television. But don't follow me. Don't hit me up. We're at Mocha Traps on all the things that matter. I don't know. Watch wrestling. We're going to watch Home Run Derby tonight. World Cup's at its final four. That's it, man. Maybe a little California trip next week. I should kind of touch base with you guys on what we're going to do next week because I'll be on the West Coast and I'm not sure of my schedule on Monday as of yet, but I'll get back to you soon. So it might be a 3 o'clock start on my time, but I'm going to explore the lovely city of San Diego before I go to LA and start my adult porn career or something. I don't know. I'll bust out the old blaster McMassive.
All right. Wow. Well, I got to tell you. Da-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Kids fired up for nah, Jeff. Do the same old shit, man. Take care of your dog. Let your dogs out. Remember that. Keep your dog out the heat.
San Diego is one of the world's great cities.
Doing dose evil shit on the internet. You see, what do you have? A podcast every single day of the week?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Your wife hates.
Yeah, so you can find me at dose_evil. I'm functionally separated right now, so it's like I've been solo now for 4 weeks. While my wife is trying to get her adult child situated, and that
this is first time out of the house away from mama.
Well, it could be. I mean, who knows? Anything's possible.
She's getting them set up, right? She'll be back.
I hope so.
I'll never be back.
Yeah, I mean, she'd be leaving a lot of stuff here. That would be weird, but I mean, everything. The thing is, at this age, it's like
you'll be fine. Promote your shows, pimp your shit.
Right. So at dose_evil, you can find me here Monday nights doing the MLW files. Tomorrow night, Kevin and I are starting the NXT review show. So that'll be slightly after 10.
My certain favorite coffee date is a topic of conversation tomorrow for you guys. Rumor has it a former MLW superstar might be on his way to CW on Tuesday nights.
Oh, yes.
The most marketable man, wrestling's most confident connoisseur of coffee.
Well, I guess we'll find if he no-shows his match with Big Trouble Ben Bishop scheduled for tomorrow night. We'll know there's something as afoot. He did leave his
work. You know what else sounds like a work? Well, he was last spotted in front of a place called NXT Coffee.
He also left his boots in the GCW ring. So
he doesn't even he can't even gear up tomorrow night. What are we talking about?
But we just saw both Brock Lesnar and Trevor Murdoch do the same thing recently. So
Trevor Murdoch,
yeah.
Where did he leave his boots besides the trunk of somebody's car?
NWA, where you're supposed to go and show up. But now he's back and he's the king, and he's got like a king's court. So there's all of that. Okay, so yeah, Wednesday night here on the Sports Jedi Media Network and Sports Jedi Network on all other platforms, I suppose. We're going to do another Out of Character, and Kevin's going to be my co-host, where we're talking to Matt Provenza, who is a Hollywood guy. He's a producer, filmmaker. He's done all sorts of things. He's worked on Terrifier 3. He's working on the new movie right now. Vinny Pacifico is the one who booked him, but Vinny couldn't book himself, which is fine, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And then on the Wrestling Soup, I do the review, the LFG review with the legendary Lufisto and, of course, Garden of Thought, which is typically Sundays and Wednesday, but this Wednesday I didn't double book, so no Garden of Thought this Wednesday, but this past week was with Rams Fan, who many of you in the wrestling community know because he's a supporter of many wrestling streams. We talked about some mythological creatures. And this coming week, I have our friend of Sports Jedi, Alex Coquito, is going to be my guest. So we're gonna talk about some things. I'm going to get him to talk a little bit about what's going on in Puerto Rico, and we're also going to talk about, I don't know, I think it's some Illuminati, humiliation rituals, Hollywood, how the world is all fake and set up kind of thing. So, but listen, it's not where you can find me, it's where can't you find me, really.
I love that, Jeff. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Enjoy your weekend. Text me tomorrow if I need to turn on the television if you watch it in real time. I mean,
yes, sir. Did you go to Baron Corbin's coffee shop?
I forgot the name of it. What's the name of it?
I don't know. Baron Corbin's coffee shop.
I only know the address. Maybe this weekend.
There it is.
8725 North Delberry Drive. I swear I'm going to get there.
I hope it's Peace Stocks, Peace Stop, and Brew. No, I just made that up.
It's got a funny name that doesn't make sense to me, but I'm sure someone can understand it. Let's get out of here. We'll talk off the air. Bye.
Stay with my friend.